Morning, everybody. Thank you for dialing in. My name is Tommy. I'm from the NUS Enterprise team. Thank you for dialing into the NUS Open House 2026 online session, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Programs. Together with me today, there will be a few of us from the different teams under NUS Enterprise who will be sharing a little bit about what the program does and a little bit of what we do within the team. Okay. So a quick welcome to all of you. And for those of you who dial in today, I'm sure you have seen that you are actually curious about entrepreneurship, or perhaps you have some ideas, you have thoughts about building a startup at some stage in your life, one way or another. And then also, as you think about your career pathways, you look at what are the things that you can do if you ever to pursue this pathway. So at this session, we hope to share some essential information on what we do at NUS Enterprise and also how our programs actually support aspiring founders, innovators, and future leaders at every stage of their journey. So a quick background on NUS Enterprise itself, for those of you who are not familiar, we are actually the startup arm of the university. So as the entrepreneurial heart of the university, we seed ideas, spark innovations, and scale ventures into global companies. We started in 2001, and to share some stats, we have nurtured nearly 4,300 students and supported more than 3,000 startups. And this includes 10 unicorns to enrich the innovation and startup ecosystem globally. Our goal as a unit is we want to equip the next generation of change makers to address humanity's and society's most pressing challenges. And our big ambition is to improve the lives of 1 billion people within the next decade. Later on, a colleague of mine from the NUS Overseas Colleges team will share a bit more in depth about NOC, if you guys are familiar with this program or heard about it. Right? So a quick overview of that program. It is established in 2002. The NOC program cultivates the entrepreneurial mindset by placing students in top global innovation hubs in different countries. And at these hubs, students actually intern at the startups over there while attending courses at top partner universities. And so far, this program has expanded to over 15 hubs around the world. And there are more than 300 students annually that go through the program and go through this entire experience with us. And to date, from this program alone, there's been more than 4,000 students, or rather nearly 4,500 students who have graduated and founded over 1,200 startups and raised over 3.6 billion in equity funding. Okay, I'll let my colleague share about that much later. Next, the next program that will also be covered later on will be the summer program in entrepreneurship. If you guys are familiar with this, it started in 2005 and it is an experiential education program that is catered to undergrad students from diverse academic backgrounds around the world. This program draws the university's expertise and it offers you as students a very fun, enriching experience within the realm of innovation and entrepreneurship, where you will actually learn more about startup ecosystem in Singapore, in Southeast Asia, and beyond. Furthermore, you will actually engage in hands-on activities to develop and pitch startup ideas, refine your skills as an entrepreneur, and network with like-minded peers and industry players. Last but not least, there will also be a coverage on Block 71. So for Block 71, we are actually a technology-focused ecosystem builder, and a global connector that catalyzes the startup community. The first Block 71 was established in 2011 and is actually home to hundreds of tech startups, venture capitalists, as well as incubators. Today, there are 11 incubation hubs in cities around the world, including San Francisco, Suzhou, Guangzhou, Chongqing, Jakarta, Bandung, and so on. The ecosystem itself has supported about 1,600 startups with a collective valuation exceeding 36 billion Singapore dollars. Over 150 Block 71 supported ventures has progressed to Series A and beyond. I will also let my colleague share a little bit more about this much later. For those of you who have questions, there will be a segment later after everyone has shared their slides on Q&A. So if you have some questions, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A segment, and then we will cover them later. Without further ado, I will stop my share screen here, and I will let my colleague Zhana to take over the screen. Over to you, Zhana.
Thank you so much, Tommy. Hi, everyone. Hang on. Let me share screen as well. All right. And let's get started. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Zhana, and I'm an associate director at NUS Enterprise. I'm also the program manager for NOC Europe, and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about NOC. So basically, NOC covers the first two aspects of our enterprise mission, seeding ideas and sparking innovation. And what it actually is, it is our flagship signature experiential learning and entrepreneurship program where you get to learn what it's really like to run your own company and be an entrepreneur. Now, what does that look like in practice? It looks like this. You get to spend 6 to 12 months overseas in one of our global innovation hubs. You get to do a paid full-time internship with a local startup. And then all the while, you get mentored by your supervisors there, but mentored by serial entrepreneurs, investors, professors within the ecosystem that you are plugged into. While doing your internship, you also take entrepreneurship classes with a top partner university. And I'm talking about places like Stanford University, Technical University Munich, Peking University, extremely prestigious, strong education hubs where you get access to top-notch entrepreneurial classes as well. And while you are doing this journey of learning and growing, you also get to learn how to be very independent and to be, a proper adult. You get to manage your own housing, your meals, transport, budget, and all of the commitments that we are expecting from you. And for some of you, this may be the first opportunity in your life to be as independent for such a long period of time. And on top of all of this, you also get full NUS course credits from both your internship and your courses for 1 or 2 semesters, depending on how long you spend on NOC. Now, let me tell you a little bit about our origin story. Our very first location for NOC in 2002 was in Silicon Valley, of course, the heart of global innovation. And we started off with a cohort of only 5 students. And our hopes for them, and they continue to be very similar today, is basically to be immersed in a very dynamic startup culture. Oftentimes, when you work in one of these companies, you're maybe the 4th or 5th person there. The importance of your work is that much bigger because you get to contribute from day one, and you play a much, much bigger role in the day-to-day operations of the company, and you get to really see the kind of impact that you're making. We also hope that students would be inspired by the drive of the founders that they work with, their journeys and stories, and that they will be further inspired also by meeting all the different people that they get to meet in the local ecosystem when they participate in entrepreneurial activities like hackathons, like talks, lectures, lecture series, and workshops with fellow entrepreneurs that are active in that ecosystem. And as a result of all of this, Our greatest hope for students who go on NOC is that they will catch the entrepreneurial bug and they would say, this is such a cool space. These are such cool people. I want to be like them. I want to do my own thing and start my own company. So then you come back to Singapore, you start your own thing, and then you get to contribute to the economy. You get to be at the forefront of innovation. You get to do something different that nobody else has done before. So these are very much our hopes still for students who go on NUS, but meanwhile, a lot in the program has changed since. For one, we now have more than 15 locations worldwide, not just Silicon Valley, and you can see some of them on your screen right now. We have NOC locations in Stockholm, in Munich, the ones that I'm in charge of because I'm the Europe program manager, but also locations across Asia and also in the Americas. It is a very, very vibrant, very well-established program, and students get to benefit that much more from having access to so many different locations. In addition to that, we have grown a very strong network of partner companies for the internships the students embark on, and they get access to internships in all of these different fields that you see on your screen, and many, many more. Now, what does that mean for you? That means that if you come to NUS and you apply to NOC and you go to NOC, you get to be a global driver of change. You get to do very novel things that nobody has done before as a direct contributor in one of these startups. You get treated as an equal along with everybody else in the company, and you get to work on meaningful projects from day one. While you're doing this, you get to hone your professional skills, you get to work on your own projects, you get to learn directly from founders that you have unparalleled access to as part of this program. And you also get to grow as a person because there's so many things you have to manage on your own while you're overseas. So it is an incredible, incredible opportunity for growth and for recognizing your values, your goals in life, and getting a better sense of your direction in general. And all the while, you also get to make many new friends and professional contacts. A lot of our NOC students, even after they finish their NOC, they keep in touch with their internship companies. Some of them have even helped the internship companies start offices in Singapore, which we're always very excited to see. You also get to make many new friends from within and outside your NOC cohort. We have a very tight-knit NOC alumni network. They're very actively organizing events and gatherings, even many, many years after finishing NOC, and they're always supporting one another in various ways. So I hope that all of you will get to come to NUS and apply to NOC and hopefully go on NOC and be part of this amazing journey. In the meantime, though, please, I invite you to scan the QR code that you see on your screen right now and follow us for more updates. And also stay tuned for more updates on our first Ask NOC Info session for first-year students, which will happen in September this year. Thank you so much for listening. This is all from me for now. If you have any questions, I encourage you to post them in the Q&A chat of this webinar, and me and my colleagues will address them later. Now, after I've given you the broad overview of the NOC program, I would like to turn it over to one of our alumni from NOC Stockholm, Mr. Jeremy Chu, who is with us today in this webinar. Jeremy will tell us about his NOC story and what he has been doing after NOC as well. Over to you, Jeremy.
All right, thanks, Zhana. All right, so good morning, everyone. I'm Jeremy. I'm actually alumnus from the NUS Overseas College Program from Stockholm. So I'll just share some of my experiences from the Stockholm program, and hopefully that would be able to inspire all of you to just embark on this your own NOC journey program in the coming year ahead. So just give me a minute, I'll share my slides. Right, I hope everyone can see my screen. Okay, so I'll begin my sharing. I'm Jeremy. So the Stockholm program that I attended, that was in 2018. So that's a good 8 years ago, but the experience is still very fresh for me. Yeah, so for me, why I chose to attend the NOC program, really, it's these four main reasons. So for one is that because I've always been just focusing on clearing modules in NUS. I wanted to experience a bit of business and entrepreneurship. So that was the first reason why I chose to apply for the NOC program. Apart from that, I also wanted to gain some independence away from home because I've spent a lot of my years in Singapore. So I wanted to go overseas to have just an experience away, right? Third reason, of course, is to experience a new culture and also the people itself. So I thought that Europe would be a nice place to do so for a year. And last but not least, I've never been to Europe for the good chunk of my life, so I wanted to explore that area. So those are my reasons why I chose to apply for NOC. Yeah, and so my internship was in this company called Hyde Labs AB. So they're actually a software as a service company that develops water sensors for homeowners to prevent property damages. So after applying for NOC, we will be given a list of companies to apply to, companies that have been associated with NOC college itself. And I wanted to see and join a company that is of my interest. So I went to look up, and Hyde Labs, it's a company that is open to hiring, but they're not in the list. So I reached out to them, and thankfully that they are open to hire interns from the NOC program itself. And so I was the first intern to join the company. Right. So as when I applied for the program, and to Hyde Labs itself, I applied as a business developer. So really is to go into the company to do market analysis and go to market strategies. But when I arrived at the company for the year itself, what I got was way beyond business development itself. So I was able to help out with the hardware development of the company. So to even do soldering of the sensors, to put the batteries, the circuit boards together, that's what I got to experience. I also got to do hands-on coding for the company itself. So on their software, I got to do some of the coding for that, and also do some content creation for their social media and for their landing page itself. So at the end of the day, me thinking that I'll just be going there to learn about business, what I eventually got was new hard and soft skills. I also got to expose myself to different people and industries. And more importantly, I feel it's a lot of growth from all the different areas of a startup company that I got to experience, right? Yeah, so as I mentioned, I really got the hands-on experience to work with the co-founders themselves. And like what Zhana mentioned earlier, really this hands-on experience really gave me the opportunity to experience the passion and the drive of these founders to innovate and to develop their ideas into the startup companies that they're working on, right? On top of all those hands-on experience, I also got to join workshops and meeting with their clients. So thankfully, because their language of comfort is in Swedish, for the most of the meetings, whenever I'm with them, they'll gladly change it to English so that I'm able to understand and able to contribute to the meetings. So that's really kind of them. On top of that, I also got to join hackathons and startups over there, just to gain additional connections outside of work, manage huge projects. So to design from scratch their webpage itself, that was a huge project for me. And also to liaise with the production side in China to set up the production line for their sensors. And for me also, this is a huge one. It's the pitch opportunities to their potential clients. So it's really a huge honor because me just joining them for a year and them giving me the opportunity to present to their client is really a huge opportunity for me, right? So really, it's a lot of experience that I got from this NOC program. And more importantly, also, it's all these lifelong friendships that I've gotten, the unforgettable experiences that I've gotten from my travels across Europe. Thank God for the work-life experience there. It allowed me to travel quite a bit to experience and have a good view of what Europe really encompasses. And all these friendships that I've gotten and gotten to make over the years itself in NOC itself, these are actually some of the connections that I'm still in touch with. So sometime last year, I still went back to Stockholm to visit some of my friends over there, even my bosses, whom I previously worked with. So yeah, really huge takeaways from this trip itself. Yeah, and so after the program itself, my friends and I who were working on the NOC modules itself, we were awarded the Innovation and Practicum grant to start a company based on the idea that we have proposed. But unfortunately, because COVID hit, the idea didn't really take off. And so after COVID, I actually I actually founded another idea, and we actually applied for the NUS GRIP program. We successfully gotten the grant, and now I'm actually co-founder of this company, Sportix Private Limited. So this company is somewhat similar to what I'm doing in Stockholm. So in Stockholm, the company that I'm working in is actually a water detection company, but the company that I'm working on right now is a gas detection company. Yeah. So yeah, that is where I am right now. And I would say that a huge part of where I am today, or even my past experience with Shelfer, really has to do with my experience, the kind of love that I've gotten from this whole NLC program itself. Yeah, so if I would leave a final word for all of you, it's really just be bold and to seize every opportunity that comes your way. You never know where it'll take you. Just like how I never knew that the NOC program would take me to finding Sportix today. Yeah, so thanks a lot, everyone, for your attention.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Allow me to share my screen. Great. I hope everyone is feeling awesome today because today I will be presenting about how you can explore entrepreneurship in real life. I am Nabiha and I'm presenting on behalf of Miss Claire Cheong, the head of NUS One International and Impact Focused Programs. So let's move on how you can actually begin your innovation journey right from year one. So NUS One is a university initiative that encourages students, especially freshmen, to step beyond their classroom every Wednesday afternoon as part of their NUS One journey. So NUS Enterprise is actually involved in this initiative to offer a range of innovation and entrepreneurship activities each semester. So some of the activities actually include learning journeys to innovative corporates like Google and Shopback, cultural intelligence activities such as learning of the ASEAN cultures and sign languages, and being involved in some entrepreneurship and innovation workshops, learning about branding and go-to-market strategies. And finally, teamwork challenges, participating in outdoor activities like dragon boating. And your innovation journey actually does not stop there, but continues into summer and winter during your school holidays. So every summer in July, we do offer the NUS Enterprise Summer Program in Entrepreneurship, which was established in 2025. So this program actually is a 2-week immersive boot camp and an inbound program where students from all around the world come to Singapore to learn, collaborate, and build ventures with NUS students. So why should you join the summer program in entrepreneurship? First, you gain real insights into innovation. So understand what drives entrepreneurship and how to turn ideas into ventures. Second, you get to experience the startup ecosystem firsthand. You don't just learn about startups, you step into Singapore and Southeast Asia's vibrant scene and see how founders operate. Third, you build global connections. So our program has welcomed students from over 50 countries, 100 universities, and forming a global network of 2,000 alumni worldwide. And most importantly, it's actually hands-on. You get to ideate, refine your entrepreneurial mindset, and pitch like a founder. So last year alone, we actually welcomed 320 participants from 30 nationalities and 50 universities. I believe this is a unique opportunity for you to gain global exposure while learning here right at NUS Enterprise. So what actually happens during that 2 weeks? So students get to experience a range of activities, lectures and workshops, sharing on startup ecosystems in NUS, Singapore and globally, go on learning journeys to startups and innovative corporates, attend panel discussions from founders and industry leaders, participate in team building and cultural activities, and receive mentorship from entrepreneurs and investors. And finally, at the end of the 2 week, students get to present their business idea during demo day and to complete their 2 week immersive journey. And to give you a glimpse of that energy, here is an highlight video from summer of 2025.
I'm delighted to join you for the opening of the NUS Enterprise Summer Program in Entrepreneurship 2025. It brings together more than 300 participants from about 30 countries and 50 universities.
My startup dream is to build a modular design that helps convert waste from desalination plants into clean hydrogen.
My startup dream is to build a social enterprise.
As a person with disability, I really want to advocate for people with disability.
To create more inclusive and sustainable agricultural future for farmers.
Mindset ingrained in everything you do. Hustle, having the persistent grit is the most important.
NUSSP consistently puts us in environments where we had to adapt and collaborate, whether it was during intense pitch prep, brainstorming sessions, or cultural sharing. These casual conversations then became deep discussions about our backgrounds, goals, and even potential collaborators.
With the Dragon Boat, how everybody had to step up, and then we got to meet new people because learning how to do the counting, the numbering, and how some people will be shouting.
There is something that I learned from one of the panel speakers. He told us to always ask for what you want and what you need, and this is something that I applied in my life.
The biggest lesson I learned were be bold, be curious, and be collaborative. I realized that the best ideas come when you're not afraid to speak up, ask a lot of questions, and co-create with others. This mindset will definitely shape how I will approach my startup journey moving forward.
Spending 2 weeks in Singapore has been an eye-opening experience. I saw how a startup could evolve into a big system, how they structure their teams, design their processes, and look at long-term goals. And I really enjoy hearing the stories from unicorn founders.
ASEAN will drive compromise. That's a reality. Every country has their own protected industries. So the key is young people must be curious to learn, not just what you're doing, but any job adds value to you.
We're all here for the same purpose. We come from different backgrounds. Like that mixture of cultures was very interesting. We could talk about the common goal, but still find like cross alignments within like our own experiences.
The program was really well laid out, and I could really sense as a participant the heart and also how it was so carefully curated for us to really learn more about entrepreneurship.
This event here has much higher concentration on culture, energy than anything I've seen. It is really a very impressive gathering of youths who are passionate, change makers, and also aspiring global entrepreneurs.
NUS Enterprise Summer Program in Entrepreneurship 2025.
Shaping your future.
Allow me to stop sharing the screen for a while and reshare my screen. Okay, so this is what students can expect from the summer program in entrepreneurship. It's exciting, intensive, collaborative, and transformative. So we hope to welcome you here one day. And to complement our summer program in entrepreneurship, which is an inbound program, we launched an outbound program called the Winter Program in Entrepreneurship in 2024. So students get to travel to the regional startup ecosystems overseas and explore what is the entrepreneurship scene beyond Singapore. So we have brought students to Bangkok and Indonesia, Jakarta and Bandung, so that they can get to learn directly from the local peers, founders, companies, and the ecosystem players. So this is our impact and international focus programs. And you can see that you can start your innovation journey actually right from day one. So if you're just curious, passionate, and simply just want to explore entrepreneurship in real life, we encourage you to take that first step through our hands-on programs. So as you can see here, these are our social media and our LinkedIn. And for more information, you can also scan the QR code on the screen. So we hope to welcome you here one day and hope you can start in your entrepreneurship journey here at NUS Enterprise. Now I'll be passing on my time to my colleague who will be sharing more on the Block 71 initiatives.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the call. So my name is Siti. I'm part of Block 71 team, so I'm the community lead here. And I'll be taking you through what exactly Block 71 is so that you can actually discover more than just the next, you want to discover the next steps after you have gone through your startup journey or your founder journey throughout university. What is the next step? So let me share my screen, and then after that, we'll get started on this. Okay. All right. So for most of you here, you are pre-university, and I would say that some of you may come with an idea, some of you may not come with an idea. And those without an idea, you'll go through our education programs in summer program, winter program, or in NOC. So the next step for those who already have like a product or things that they want to work on, that is where Block 71 is for even students as young as year ones or even pre-university students as well. So what Block 71 is that we're a worldwide gateway for innovation where we work from NUS Enterprise with ecosystem partners, not just in Singapore, but overseas as well, to support our founders, student founders as well, including our corporates and our investors to scale with our founders. So we're not just in Singapore only, but we're in global hubs across Southeast Asia, such as Japan, China, United States, Indonesia, as well as in Vietnam. And what we really hope is that our startups, it can be as young as like an early stage, like with our ideation, in ideation stage, so have a really global mindset. And this is where Block 71 is. So what we do at Block 71 is to provide opportunities for very early stage startups with technology and IP from the university, international markets exposure, either through our connections or through even our connections with our other programs, so like the NOC side or the summer program, winter program. We do have grants and funding to support very early stage founders. We also have connections. We are part of the university, so we do have connections to the university so that you can get potential interns to join your startup to work on your idea. And of course, our most selling point is that we have a collaborative space to house our early stage startups and be immersed in the community of early stage founders as well. So if some of you may not know, NUS Enterprise does have a building in NUS itself, and we do have an incubation space to house our startup founders, to work on their ideas, to have team meetings, to have investor meetings. So the one that is located on campus is called The Hangar. Yeah, so basically it is a space for very early stage startups. And then we have the Launchpad at One North, which is our growth stage startup incubator. So for those of you who are very new to entrepreneurship and the lingo terms of entrepreneurship, incubator means a space where you can, it's a space for specifically for startups that is dedicated resources, that's mentorship, you get access to grant funding, you get access to the facility so that you can technically, I would say, offset your cost in running a startup in a working space. So this is what we call incubators. And not only we just have incubators that which is the Hangar and Launchpad, we also have specific vertical incubators, such that if some of you are working in some of these impact verticals or cybersecurity verticals or your maritime verticals, you can actually enter those incubators as well. Right, so for most of you, when you start off as an early stage startup, you actually enter the early stage incubator called the Hangar. So it is a space specifically for early stage students because the support that you need as an early stage founder is very dedicated. It's very different from a growth stage founder where it's mainly a lot of connections driven. For you as an early stage founder, you need more hands-on support on really like knowing whether you're doing the right step, whether you are validating your idea enough, whether like is there even a market for your idea. Yeah, so this is where our mentors come in to sit in with our founders at the space to make sure you're right on track. And not only we open it up to like founders from students that go through NUS Enterprise programs, any students from NUS can apply to the Hangar. And what we also do is that we work with over 10 of our student entrepreneurship clubs within NUS to pipeline potential student teams that are in other student entrepreneurship clubs into the Hangar by Block 71. Yeah, so I would say, as I mentioned, the support that you get is mentorship, you get the talent, you get access to funding, where our funding can go up to about $10,000 for very early stage founders. And very most importantly is that we have a very strong founder community that the founders themselves in the Hangar, which is the students, drive events or meetups among each other so that they can help each other as well to bounce ideas off or whether to provide support, to their businesses or to provide connections as well. So for any of you here who are maybe, let's say, not ready to enter entrepreneurship programs under NUS Enterprise and you just want a taste of an idea of what is entrepreneurship, there's so many student clubs in NUS that's affiliated to us that we work with that actually supports student entrepreneurship in their different ways. So we partner with around 11 NUS student clubs, such as NES, which is the biggest entrepreneurship club. And then we partner maybe with IDP, Innovation of Design Program, which is in CDE. So if some of you are going into like College of Design Engineering, there is a IDP club there. We also partner with HealthX, which is under Biomedical Engineering, if I'm not wrong, for MedTech related specific startups. Yeah, so any of these groups, if you're part of it, you will definitely get resources from Block 71 as well. And if you were to found an idea within any of the student clubs, you can definitely get access, I'll say direct access, but you can be recommended to join the Hangar as well. Yeah, so I would say we work with all these student clubs and we have a lot of events with the student clubs as well. Yeah, so it's a very good chance for you to get exposed to entrepreneurship, not through a program, but through it's like extracurricular activities as well. Yeah. Right, so of course, the next stage, once you have already like kind of grown, like, you have already have your product and you're going to go to market. So this is where you move on to the next incubator, which is called the Launchpad, which is at One North. It's not on campus, it's actually one stop away. And it's a space really for growth stage startups because there is the support needed. It's a very different way. We'll provide potentially like even like CXOs, which is like fractionals, to join their teams, to help them maybe support in HR functions or to support in finance functions. Yeah, or we even recommend like VCs, like venture capitalists, so that they can fundraise from them. Yeah, so it's very different. And where we are is actually located in like the Launchpad hotspot, which is, I would say, considered as Asia's emerging Silicon Valley. So if you have time for any of these students here, you can actually go down to Launchpad. You can see these colorful buildings there. That's actually the startup hub of Singapore. So there's over like 800 startups there. There's 50 VCs there, incubators and accelerators that you can get in touch with. And it's very vibrant, right? When we have like community events for the whole space, yeah, there's over like hundreds of people that comes down. So when you join Block 71 as an early stage startup, you will always go through the general track, and that happens every quarter, right? So you will enter at any point of time between these 4 tracks, and then your incubation journey kind of usually will be about 2 to 3 years, unless your startup, I would say, die, right? But we will try to support where we can to make sure that you get on track and you proceed, and growth steadily. But once you are of a certain stage, you will be recommended to join our accelerator programs, where we have an accelerator program at Microsoft, which is an AI focused. We also have a green energy program, and we also have a deep tech program called Deep Sage as well. Yeah, so it's really focusing on helping founders to grow, and this is where you get the most support out of. But of course, additionally, we work in the community aspect. So we run masterclasses for the startups, we run clinics, we run community gatherings and events so that you can build your connections. Yeah, so that we don't just focus on the knowledge, but we strive to build the community so you can really connect with the founders to create global impact. So let me share you a video of a latest event that we actually ran with one of our student clubs.
Using your inexperience and youth as an asset, right, to tackle some of the biggest problems that we have in the world today.
I think it was a good opportunity for students to test out their ideas in a safe environment.
I absolutely love what Block 71 is doing. I just love, the feedback that I can get from the operators and investors on the ground.
To see like more like-minded people and people who are already really established in the startup scene, meeting them has been really great.
It's good to see the students who are like so young trying to build their own startups, side hustles to begin with.
The main reason why we basically created the event is to show the VCs out there and also to show basically anyone who's looking at the startup ecosystem that they should basically just invest in students.
I want to say to future student founders is that just keep trying. I think any idea is not a bad idea.
And you shouldn't give up on the idea even though you face a few hurdles here and there.
So your motive to do a startup must come from other means other than monetary purposes itself.
If any student founders are watching this, I would really like to encourage you that no problem that you're working on is too small to solve. So I would look at using your inexperience and youth as an asset, right, to tackle some of the biggest problems that we have in the world today.
All right, so basically that was a video of a recent event that we ran together with one of our student clubs. And the main person that was actually featured in the video, which is the first attendee, is actually an alumni of the NUS Overseas Colleges program. So he's called Mohan, and he's actually a mentor for Block 71 as well. So we always work with our other programs to create like a full circle so that people who graduated from our programs, once they are ready to give back, they'll come back and give back to our early stage founders again. Right. So, of course, in terms of impact-wise, Block 71 has been around for 15 years, so we supported over 1.6K startups, and we have already engaged over 350,000 people. And across all the different countries, of course, Singapore has the most number of startups because we started first, but of course, the other countries are catching on to support the startup ecosystems there. And with that, we actually supported over 10 unicorns. Unicorn means with a startups that have a valuation of $1 billion, right? So basically, Carousel, Shopback, there are all our alumni from NUS Overseas Colleges program, PetSnap as well, right? So they actually gone through the NUS Overseas Colleges program. They actually then gone into Block 71, and then they expanded to the different Block 71 overseas through our help as well. So I would like to bring your attention to Carousel. I'm pretty sure most of you who are Gen Zs in this call would use Carousel as an app to sell your secondhand things or to build your side hustle. Yeah, and Carousel is actually a startup that was actually supported by NUS Enterprise through an NOC program as well as Block 71. So they started in 2012, yeah, and they built their working demo in a hackathon. and they got a grant funding from us after a literal elevator pitch, which is basically they went to an assessor, I don't say corner him in the lift, but he went into the lift, and then after that they pitched their idea, and then they got the grant there. And from there, they took off. They launched their app within NUS. They tested their app in NUS because NUS is a testing ground for startups, so that they can, build their ideas within the campus. And yeah, I think after that, that was a history. So they actually raised their first funding and then expanded to San Francisco in 2015. Yeah, so one of the co-founders of Carousel, which is Lucas, he actually left recently last year, and he's building his second startup, which is called Cortex AI. And he actually came back to Block 71 again, right, to get supported. And he just raised Series A funding recently, only like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, so that it's actually a really good, I would say, note to Block 71. So for students over here, if let's say you're not sure where to get started, definitely join this Telegram group chat, which is actually a group chat comprising of all the entrepreneurship clubs events. So you can join in, and then you can get updated with all the student clubs as well as Block 71 and NUS Enterprises events. Do join our Luma page, which is our events page. And I will encourage you to participate a lot more in entrepreneurship activities or hackathons, because you may not know, you will definitely create like a revolutionizing solution out of like that one small hack that you did, right? And of course, last but not least, join our community to get updated with all our newsletter contents. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop it into the Q&A. Happy to answer them as well. All right, so thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Siti, for that insightful sharing for Block 71. And to everyone, I hope you had a good glimpse on a good starter on how the programs help aspiring founders, as well as those who are looking to get into NUS and then later on want to pursue this pathway. We still have time for Q&A, so I will just go straight to some of the questions here, and I'll also get some of the team members here to come in and answer the question. Okay, I think earlier this has been answered, but will the recording be sent to us? Yes, it will be uploaded on the NUS Enterprise YouTube channel. So please search for NUS Enterprise and you will be able to see the live recording uploaded. Okay. There's another question here. Okay, I think this question is pertaining to Block 71. Maybe Siti, you may want to answer the open question.
Hello, Binte. Thanks for asking that question. So your question is, I'll just say it for the sake of everyone as well, is that you are developing a AI-based startup project and completed the technical validation and is now developing a demo. So you mentioned that skilled students are not eligible for NOC program, but will Block 71 VIP program or any other programs be suited? Yes, Block 71 will be suited for you. Because we also take in NUS alumni startups or any NUS affiliated startups. NUS affiliated means if you have any connections to any of the programs in any faculties, you'll be considered as NUS affiliated. So you can definitely apply to Block 71 to our website, which is block7.co/Singapore. And of course, once you apply, we will actually shortlist you. And then if you're shortlisted, we'll call you for a interview to do a pitching session as well. Yeah, so the validation portion will be very important for you, not just the technical validation, but like really validation and talking to people whether your solution there is like a market for it. Yeah, so I encourage you to do that before you apply to Block 71. And anyways, we run on a quarterly cycle. So once you're ready, then you apply. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Siti. Does anyone else have any other questions? And also just to add, in case you guys came in a bit late or joined in the middle of the session, other than the online segment today, we actually have a in-person campus experience where you can actually come down to the NUS Enterprise booth, meet some of us and from the team as well, meet some of our startup founders, where we will also do a little bit of showcase at the booth, have some fun giveaways. And if you've been following our posts, there will also be talks that is happening on that day as well, in particular this Saturday. So do look up for these activities if you are coming down to campus, and we look forward to seeing you. If you have any other questions, feel free to mention it right now and we can cover that. Otherwise, we can meet you in person as well. Okay, if no, then thank you very much for attending this online session. And we hope to see you in person at the NUS Open House in the campus. See you and bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.